Hello.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
I will.
All right. Yeah, I think we're about ready to get started. Um, let's kick off with some client updates. Zoom team.
Hi, Will. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so we have been working on the parent syncing, block by root syncing PR, and now it works in our client. And we have been fixing other issues with peer connections and disconnections. And we have also been working on implementing the DevNet 2 spec, and most likely by Friday we'll be there. And we also merged in a PR related to checkpoint sync because from the DevNet, it seems that we need the checkpoint syncing infra as well as we need the checkpoint sync so that when the clients go down, they can come back up easily. Uh, and I think there is a checkpoint sync PR that Partha has put up, and it has been merged, I believe. And there was another spec PR that Kai did to compress the justifications because we don't need to track the justifications vector in the state before the finalized. And I have to review that PR, but I think Toma has already reviewed it. So if everything looks good, that should be good to merge. And I think this PR could be included in the DevNet 2 spec. Apart from that, I think we should be able to freeze the current DevNet 2 spec with including this justifications state compression and uh, so basically block by root syncing uh, of the clients and basically the lean VM aggregation. And on that front, I believe one PR regarding serialization, deserialization has been merged, and it was raised by Anshul from our side. So yeah, this is what we have been up to.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Gajender. Sharif, Green Team.
Sweet. So few minor things. We added some improvements to the lean roadmap. So some lean sig specs were added, as well as some of the benchmarks for lean sig were added. Uh, and Katya uncovered some issues with storage space handling in Ream. We implemented pruning of our database to the past 128 states. We added better logging for DevNet 1, which includes we log our database storage stats as well as just like current head, current slot, and all of that stuff for the DevNet. Uh, and then we added metrics that were added to lean metrics. Like these are node info metrics such as what's the current slot for the client and like what time the client started and so on. As for DevNet 2, we have implemented the checkpoint sync API that was added to the spec yesterday. And there's an open PR for that, which I believe should be merged in today. As for the aggregated attestation stuff, we have been following the spec. I believe we're like 2 days out to being on top of the spec, and any other changes in the spec we'll add accordingly. Uh, on the P2P side, we have added the ability to redial peers every 20 seconds. And I believe that that's all from our end.
Thanks, Sharif. Clean.
Yeah, hey everyone. From our side, yeah, what was merged is, yeah, we finally merged the enhanced better logs and connected peers metric. Yeah, also during our work on DevNet 2, yeah, we also needed the serialization in multisig. We actually also prepared the PR for that. It was merged and then reverted. I don't remember exact reasons, but anyway, yeah, the Zim team created a new PR, so we're good on this side. Yes, for what is currently in progress, yeah, we do have pull request open for the out of memory issue fix. Actually, the only thing that is missing there is that, yeah, in this PR, when the node restarts, it crashes with some sync issue, but maybe if we gonna introduce checkpoint sync, yeah, we can just yeah, merge as is and then introduce checkpoint fix. So this is not an issue. Yes, then me and Ruslan, we were heads down for the past few days on the draft for the committee aggregation. Yeah, I was working on the spec side and he was trying to draft some super early version in clean so that we can make sure that the spec makes sense. Yeah, we're also working on introducing some predicates to gossip SAP in our libTP library. This is needed because, yeah, what we currently don't have in our spec and what I think we need to introduce at some point is kind of the predicates for gossip subtopics. So basically the rules when we need to accept the message, when we need to ignore them. Yeah, we do have this in beacon chain spec and we're missing this currently. And our libTP implementation also was not able to kind of work with these predicates. Rust libTP is good with this, I think. So yeah. Yeah, overall, yeah, we need to catch up, I think, for the most recent spec. But yeah, we do have the main features for the DevNet 2 ready. So the aggregation should work. So yeah, I don't think it should take a long time to kind of be up to date with spec and start interoping with others and start testing interop. Thanks. Yeah, that's all.
Thanks, Camille. Lantern.
Yep. Hi, everyone. So basically, added support for DevNet 2 in Lantern. So basically, all the tests in Lantern are passing, as it can consume the fixtures generated by the lean spec. This was completed late last week. Since then, I've mostly been testing the implementation by running a local setup for DevNet 2, mainly just consisting of multiple Lantern nodes. Basically, like during the testing, I did notice some bugs in the quick protocol. Basically, like after some runtime, the nodes were facing handshake timeout errors, but those have been fixed early this week. I've also been testing the syncing functionality via request resp in the local setup, and I've also implemented fixes for it. So at the moment, Lantern only supports the latest protocol ID that is defined in the lean spec for request resp. And like for DevNet 1, it supported some legacy protocol IDs, but for DevNet 2, I've removed support for this. So any legacy protocol IDs are not supported in Lantern. In terms of next steps, I need to add support for aggregation metrics, which are going to be relevant for DevNet 2. And then I'll be releasing a new Docker image for Lantern, which can be tested with other clients for Interop. So yeah, that's an update. Thanks.
Thanks, Mahir. I think Lighthouse typically goes now. I've not seen Pop on the call of Malice. Anyone else from Lighthouse on the call to speak to client updates? If not, let's jump to Grandine. Salyas.
Hello. So yeah, so we just open sourced the client and two things that we are working on. So the missing things for the DevNet 1 interop, and also some progress on DevNet 2 implementation. That's all.
Thanks, Salyas. Congrats on that. Keith Lambda.
Yeah. This last week we finished work on the gossip layer. The nodes now receives and decodes both blocks and attestations, and we tested this with link quick start and sim for interoperability. We also added the state transition function and tested with lean spec to ensure it was spec compliant. We also added a naive LMD Ghost implementation and are now working on testing and integration.
Excellent. Thanks, Jamal. And then I just dropped a link. There's a new client team, Geen, a Go-based implementation. I don't know if anyone from the Geen team is here. This was just brought to my attention early this morning. Cool. Maybe next week we'll hear from them. Let's move on to spec and research updates. Thomas, Emil?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
I can start. So this past week I have worked a lot on the lean spec in order to try to transform what we currently have as a spec to like a minimal running client. So what I have done is that I haven't touched any files of the spec. So not the state, not the block stuff, not the subspec, not the cryptography, but I have added some peer-to-peer stuff, some syncing stuff, some Genesis loader stuff. Yeah, we're trying to do that without any dependency. For example, I am not using lip2p to do that. So then I need to plug all of the things together, but I have tried to bring the different pieces together and had some tests. So that afterwards, if we need to experiment with some new peer-to-peer protocols or new stuff, we don't need to modify lip2p as a core. We can directly experiment within the repo directly. So that this is something that I have done. I have also reviewed some PR. We have like an upcoming PR from O, who discovers that the key generation is very long and we can find some optimization without degrading the spec. So for example, we have this spec, this PR that has been made public by O this morning about using NumPy for Poseidon permutation, generating a huge speed up without degrading like the spec. So this will be something that will be merged. Also, we have this spec, this PR about committee aggregation from Camille that is currently in draft, but should be ready to review and merge soon. And yeah, we have the PR from the Zim team also mentioned by Gajinder that will be merged soon also. So we have a lot of work done about this PR stuff and all of the spec. In the coming weeks and dates, I will try to work more on the minimal client. So I have removed some part of the code that are unused and other stuff. I have tried to simplify it a bit, sometimes to review my code and other stuff. I have set up also some coding agent for those who use Cloud, and I have put this peer agent directly into the repo, so that, for example, we have like a specific sub-agent responsible for documentation writing or checking the Python code to verify that it is compliant regarding the latest Python stuff, so modern Python tooling and stuff. We have also like a code tester sub-agent in order to verify the tests and check that no edge cases are forgotten or this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a bit of an AI setup so that for those who use Cloud, this can be easier to interact with the repo. So that's it basically all. Then we merge on the research side of things. We merged a couple of PRs on Plonky 3, on Weir, to clean up a bit things and to also accelerate the transposition of matrices, but that is the research side. So we are moving forward also on this cryptography. And I think that Emil can talk about that, but Emil worked on a lot on the simplified branch of LeanVM. Yeah, Emil, if you want to talk about this more, yeah, feel free to do so.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Indeed, this week I'm quite happy because we finally have end-to-end recursion in the lean in the simple LeanVM branch. And currently the performance is about 1.3 seconds for 2-to-1 recursion. But as always, for this kind of first version, I expect some big performance improvements to come. But that's pretty nice because like everything works as expected. That's it for me.
Wow. Awesome update, guys. I wanted to call attention to the DevNet 3. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just to close this parenthesis about like research and lean spec update. I have set up like the AI stuff for those who use clouds. Don't hesitate also like to modify my setups and like I have made it public to the repo so that everyone can use it and everyone can modify it or add new stuff. So please, you have like the cloud.md and the .cloud folders with subagents. Don't hesitate to modify anything at your convenience to be like more peer-to-peer performant or anything. So feel free to modify. This is not mine. This is the one of all of us. Yeah.
Really cool effort, Thomas. In the world of specs, I think that these high-level documents are really important. Thank you very much for championing this. Saw a lot of discussion. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to speak to with regards to this document.
Not really, I guess. So maybe overview. So DevNet 3, I basically summarized that from mainly discussion between Gajinder and Camille. It's a very high level, so I try to keep things like not too much into the logic, but mostly on more of the conventions, like the like new fields, what's the field names, what's the gossip subtopics, but without going into the implementation. There's one part that I'm not so sure about is the slot intervals. I basically made that table up and separated between like proposer, a tester, and aggregator role. But for now, like the proposer and the tester are the same the same entity, while the aggregator would be separate in DevNet 3. But the interval in there, I'm not too sure if that's actually accurate or optimized. So maybe if someone has more expertise on that, yeah, reviewing that would be great. But apart from that, I guess like I'll mostly be just like monitoring what everyone is doing, including Katia's and Partha's work as well. I'm trying to incorporate all the um, setups from the DevNet 1 back into the document as well. So that's being reflected back into PQ DevNet 2. Yeah, and hopefully after we start pinning down the commits from each client, the Docker images, I'll update that into this markdown, but these markdown documents as well.
Or could you repeat what your doubt was regarding aggregator?
So I think there's the part where I laid out the slot interval from 0 to 3. So four intervals in the slot, and then each of the separated row would be doing different stuff right now. So like a quick review of that is fine, but otherwise like we can also like go into the implementation, and once like we merge the PRs and lean spec, I'm happy to reflect that those PRs back into this like high level doc as well. So it works both ways.
This is DevNet 2 or DevNet 3?
That's three.
Oh, okay. All right. I think
I don't know if you can see my screen, but I think this table, correct?
Yeah. I think this table is basically like the most like non-obvious stuff in the entire document.
Got it. I will also look into it, and if there is anything to add, I'll raise the PR. But I think we should let Kamil first present the DevNet 3 spec.
Yeah, I think this table was slightly based on my proposal. Basically the idea was that we want to have aggregators to be, well, some validators, they can opt in to become an aggregators. And then there was a question like when they should aggregate. And the idea was that during interval 2, if aggregators kind of have like more than certain % of signatures from committee, then they can aggregate. If not, they kind of wait until they have enough signatures, or if there is already interval, if we kind of get to interval 3 already, then they can aggregate with signatures that they have, so that they can contribute at least something. Yeah. Anyway, that's just some verbal explanation, but yeah, we can discuss more, and yeah, if needed, create more PRs into the plan.
Great. Any other comments on DevNet 3 planning?
I think this is good. We can basically, take it proposal by proposal of, what Kamil is proposing in the PRs, and then accordingly update this particular table.
Yeah, please note there is another PR that slightly modifies the plan. It's basically just introduces compute subnet ID function instead of just assigning validators to subnets in validators config. I think this is closer to what we have in Beacon chain, and in future it kind of would be easier to. Well, currently we just can have a naive implementation so that we just do modular, well, validator ID modular number of subnets to kind of calculate their subnet ID, but in future, yeah, it could be random, kind of the same way as we do this in Beacon chain. So yeah.
And that PR is in the lean spec repo?
This is the PR to the PM repo, PR 58.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sent it in the reply.
Thank you. Great. So I guess looking back for a second, Katya, I saw that you published this more extensive DevNet 1 retro. Is there anything that you wanted to voice over with that?
So yeah, hello everyone. Quick updates. We are working on the DevNet 1 syncing, so testing syncing, shutdown and up clients, and so I raised an issue for DevNet 2 readiness regarding Lean Quick Start. So why the chat is not available for me? Oh yeah, here it is. So so feel free to add your images there. So recommended is DevNet 2, but you may have your own. Regarding metrics, so we have the last open PR, which is not yet merged. It's PQ signatures PR. So I had to change the prefix on a wood. Please take a look, and there will be some changes on the first set of PQ metrics, just the naming, not implementation, but it gives more flexibility for naming. So regarding the shared dashboards, not ready yet, will be shared soon. And yeah, we also have new client Randin. And if you have any questions how to integrate into the Lean Quick Start, so please tag me in the chat. So I just shared some examples how to do this. If you're stuck with this, please tag me. So retrospective, so is in a draft mode. I had some new suggestions what I can add there, and we'll update it. So it's still in progress. Maybe I will update it with the sync, and it will be published in Lean Quick Start repo. So we are going to aggregate them there. So there is a proposal to add some additional metadata to Docker images, so I can easily identify which commit, which is the latest commit for these images. So this is important for testing. Yeah, I will raise an issue for this and share in the DevNet chat. That's it from my side. Thank you.
And yeah, you just mentioned something in the chat that worth discussing. Like this is the PR from Manas, I think, if I remember correctly the pseudo, but about dynamic validator set. You raised a comment in this PR that saying that for now maybe this is not worth doing this. But I don't know. Like here, this is just maybe some toolings added to the repo. So maybe this worth just putting the tooling in place so that we already have this concept of like a validator exit request, and all of this. I don't know what is your opinion, guys, about implementing this in the clients and stuff. If this will add too much complexity for you, if this is manageable, if this is something that we don't care for now. So yeah, this is worth discussing because the PR is open, just very minor change to be merged in the spec. So worth having your opinion on this.
Yeah, just to quickly add on Toma, so that PR, well, my assumption is it's trying to do, yeah, basically what you said, like deposits and exits. But I think it's only the interface right now. So if we are going to do this, this means like our validator set is gonna fluctuate, and that means our for choice and the, yeah, basically the two-third calculation is gonna be dynamic as well. So I kind of sense personally that it is quite complex. But yeah, I don't have yeah, it's just personal concern, but I'm not so sure. Maybe other things that's as useful, and then that's fine.
Yeah, I sort of agree with basically, I mean, as such, we can implement this, but the question is that how urgent or what is the use of this at this particular stage? Maybe, when we basically are trying to formalize the spec for lean hard fork, I think at that point it will definitely become useful. But currently, I'm not so sure.
My personal concerns about this. So the DevNet is quite unstable, and especially if the new clients arrive, so we can't reach long run in DevNet because we lose too many clients. So every time we need to restart, but it's still doable. So it really depends on the client side. So how easy is it to do this?
For that, basically, what we can do is basically we can make Lean Quick Start a little bit more flexible so that if there is a set of node that you want to run to change over to some particular client, so that you have the DevNet stability. If, for example, some client is not ready or has fallen off or whatever issue, I think we can handle it through that.
Yeah, we already have it. I mean, when it's the DevNet is already running. So if we lose like one client, it's still possible. If we lose two clients, which happens often, then we need to restart. So we lose finality and we need to restart.
So you can, even when the DevNet is running, you can basically assign a particular node to some other client. I mean, that is not really difficult. So you can run multiple instances of the same client in two or more nodes. This is, for example, how we use Lean Quick Start to do Zeem to Zeem interop as well. So that is possible. So what I'm saying is that, for example, if some machine you want to shift to some other client, rather than saying that, okay, all these validators will go to this particular instance of this client at this particular machine. So we can just say that, okay, we can switch out the client on this particular machine as as a second instance of some other client that you want to assign it to. So yeah, with the checkpoint sync and all the syncing PRs that we have. As I mentioned, that all this switching would be easier. We just probably need to make it a bit easier on the Lean Quick Start interface. If that is a problem that we are trying to solve, then basically dynamic validator set. So there is an easier solution to having a dynamic validator set. If we want to do something with dynamic validator set and show something on top of it, then that is a different case.
So do we still have the set of clients like on the when we start the DevNet from the very beginning, even if we have checkpoints? So we still need to configure it before we run DevNets.
So
I mean the number of clients.
basically, I mean, in Lean Quick Start, it's basically saying that Ream 0 or QLean 0 is, for example, now Zeem 1. So if you do that and you rerun your Ansible, basically it should shift the client, it should shift that particular node and the associated validators to a new client automatically. And if once we have the checkpoint sync and parent syncing working in all the clients, basically this switching should just work out just like that. So with a small change in the configuration, you should be able to redeploy a different client to the same machine with the validators of that particular machine assigned to the new client.
Okay, I will try this, but I think it still won't fix the issue and we'll lose like more clients. But yeah, I can check it. Thank you.
Why wouldn't it fix the issue?
Because the number of validators is set at the very beginning, and it isn't changed. So
Once you
you
shift,
you mean on the go, right? You mean to change the clients on the go?
so yes, so if you can shift the validators to a different client, so that solves your problem, right? This is what you
Yeah,
want to solve.
I got it. Mhm. Got
Cool.
it.
So
Thanks.
that is not working out. Just ask Partha to get it working because it should be working as such, in my opinion. But if it's not working, we can fix it.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Yep.
Okay, so just like to summarize, like about the PR, about dynamic validator sets. So like I am PR centric, but now that the PR is done, as proposed by Will in the chat, I think that it could make sense not to do that in DevNet 3, but to report that to DevNet 4. But so I think that as the PR is done right now, and this is just the tooling, we can merge the PR without applying that to the spec, so that this will have no effect for you guys, so that we have the tooling in place, and this will make our job easier for DevNet 4. What do you think about this? About just merging the tooling right now? So just the class, the structure, the fields, and all of this, but not touching, for example, like the fork choice and all of this.
So in that regard, I have a question. What is the haste to merge it? I mean, the PR can stay as it, and we can consider it when we actually want to have it in the spec.
Yes, but as the spec evolves very fast, I am a bit worried on the fact that this will, in like 1 month, we will have a ton of conflicts on this PR. And so this will be very difficult to rebase.
That is the entire reason that if there are, for example, going to be tons of conflicts, that means that a person who has to do work on some other PR will continuously have to worry about this particular set of changes, and is basically an added tech debt for something that we are already not doing. So that is sort of my logic to say that, okay, if there are any conflicts, they can be merged at a later point in stage.
Okay, no problem. This is you guys that are implementing the client. So yeah, if this is okay for you, yeah, then okay for me.
I think with regards to the dynamic validator set, there can certainly be some complexity around like activation exit time and like sort of like figuring out the time parameters for it. I would say like by the time we reach DevNet 3 and 4 or even DevNet 2, given that the clients will be implementing syncing via request REST, like we should, and checkpoint sync as well, we should expect the DevNets to become a lot more stable to allow like in a long running DevNet to allow testing of advanced features like activation exits, which are heavily time based.
Yeah, so I sort of agree, and also to plan when we should actually have it, just to say that it's definite 4 or 5 or 6. So basically, what we want is that I think we all want to have a view of what will be the end game of Lean Ethereum. So which is basically when we are going to propose it as hard fork and how it's going to look, and that is the basic point, that is the point basically. So that timeline will decide that, okay, this is the relevant point at which we need to start having all these features from the beacon spec into Lean Ethereum so that we are at the parity. So basically we are building on top of what consensus spec is. So question is, what is that time, and what is that stage when we'll basically say that, okay, we want to have all these beacon features, which include data availability, sampling, as well as execution. And I think basically all those things, all these questions will sort of become relevant at that particular point. So I would like to think that I would like to figure out that what is that point at which basically we'll say that these things have become relevant and we want them and we need them.
Would it be possible and or helpful if we were to add readiness checklists to each of the high level docs so that week after week we are going, I mean, we're obviously going to be shipping parallel or multiple devnets at a time. Make sure that we're always in agreement in terms of like, okay, what are the blockers to devnet 2 in terms of what's included there and what can be deferred, what's in DevNet 3, and even start to write up the DevNet 4 one now as we identify things that we want to push until later. I guess I just want to make sure that we're always driving these efforts to completion and in agreement in terms of like when a feature set or functionality slips from one DevNet to the next, that we have a coherent, like, shared source of truth for that. Great. Is there someone that would volunteer to take a pass at adding the readiness checklist to DevNet 2 and DevNet 3 for next week so that we can kind of use that as a guiding part of the outline? Mercy, thank you very much. All right. And then Katya, Parthe, I kind of keep one eye on the DevNet channel. It seems like you're getting all the support that you need for additional servers for new clients as they complete in it, and are able to interact with the DevNet. Yeah, sounds like you've got what you need there. No blockers in terms of services and support. Okay. Any other open discussion items? I think that's kind of the gist of the set program. All right. Another great call. Looking forward to next week. We'll have a chance to go through those readiness checklists for DevNet 2 and DevNet 3. And yeah, start scoping DevNet 4, hopefully. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.